Nebraska. Happy hump day. Welcome into the morning hookup. Go Hooks. Elijah Herbal. See, the vibe is going to go today.
Yeah, the vibes are strong.
I sent you the song, and it's going to go right with this. Yeah. What a great song. I was on the couch last night watching TV late, and that somewhere popped in my head, and it was actually on the TV. I'm like, yes.
So I needed that actually this morning. It was
I think both of you and I both probably did, based on the fact that coming in hot.
It was well, my mistake was after a rough bowling performance last night from the team. There's no two ways about it. I mean, you got to tip your cap to your opposition. They had a great night. We were slightly off our game. Whenever they're really on, you're slightly off. It makes you look really off. Came home. I was like, you know what I'm going to do?
I'm gonna get into it.
No.
Oh no.
I'm gonna watch my Nuggets finally take down the Timberwolves. They've been all year long.
You were watching it.
I stayed up late for it. Game ended at damn near 12:30 last night. And the Nuggets drop it in double overtime because Russell freaking Westbrook can't dribble a basketball out.
I watched the highlights of that. If you didn't see that performance last night, a historical performance by the Joker last night. A 60-point triple-double. Like 61, 12, and 10, roughly 61, 10, somewhere in there. Third one ever, I believe, in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, and the only time a player has had a 60-point triple-double and lost.
And at the end of that game, both teams, by the way, just played so well. I think Ant had 37 and some change last night as well. But if you didn't catch this one, the end of that game was the epitome of where Westbrook has gone in these days. Nuggets up one because the Joker got fouled on the jump ball. Great catch by the ref, by the way. You never see that call.
Nope.
Yeah, he makes 1 and 2. They're up 1. Westbrook steals the ball.
Makes a great play.
It is a 2-on-1 fast break.
But
give and go, and then he bricks the layup.
There's 10 seconds on the clock, and you have a 1-point lead.
Slow down. But you're in that fast break moment.
And you want the 2 points.
Yeah.
You want to, because if they're going to send you to the line, you can maybe knock another second or two off the clock.
Yep.
You get to the line, give a chance to get yourself a chance to reset if you can't knock it down. That was.
And then he bricks the layup. Let's just call it a brick because it was it was damn near a wedgie.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Then they come back down. T-Wolves do not call timeout. They continue down the play. Make a great pass to the corner, cross court to the corner for the 3. It goes up. It misses. But wait a minute. Westbrook fouls the 3-point shooter, 2 free throws. Ball game. They lose. It was a pretty bad 10 seconds for Mr. Westbrook in a game where that highly contested, teams that are fighting for playoff positioning, and you ruin a performance like that from the Joker. Has he made his way back into the MVP? I mean, because right now everybody's talking about Shea, right? He's going to be the MVP, hands down. Do you think it's I feel like the Joker is like Mahomes right now in the NFL.
It's the fatigue.
It's fatigue of hearing about it. But he is the best player. And it's probably Shea's getting a lot of run this year also because of the Thunder record. But I think the Joker is the MVP.
Yeah, you've never had a player finish in the top 10 in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Nikola Jokic is in the top 3 of all those categories.
I mean, he's going to be finished second. It's this point, it's minus money. You got to, for Shea to win it.
I mean, you had Anthony Edwards after the game. I didn't pull this quote. But
I heard this on SportsCenter.
So that might have been the best game of my life I've ever been a part of. Nikola Jokic, he might be the best basketball player I've ever seen. I mean, that was instant classic.
Right.
I will say, as somebody who stayed up for the game, I'm glad I did. I'm a Nuggets fan. I'm glad I stayed up for the game because it was such a dang good basketball game. Man.
Come on, man.
That's what the NBA has been missing. A little bit of what that performance was last night, which it wasn't just
2 dudes.
It wasn't F it and chuck it 3. It was Anthony Edwards going off for 24 points in fourth quarter and overtime.
Yep.
Nikola Jokic has his historic night. Those 2 dudes battling, getting in the paint, some physicality. It felt like a playoff game in the regular season, and the NBA hasn't had enough of that.
No.
So if you missed that game and you're not an NBA fan, I get it. The NBA product has become rough, but last night's game was one of those games that I think the basketball fan of 10, 15 years ago would have appreciated.
Absolutely. We're going to talk NBA probably in the second hour or so coming up. But there's
been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, but the playoff race is heating up. There were some big-time games last night. Husker Hoops tonight. We're going to talk about that. We have Henry T. Buchanan coming up, Major League Baseball. Didn't realize there was a player back because you hadn't heard about him because he was sick, but he's back.
Mookie?
Yeah. We'll talk about him and what he did last night. Speaking of fatigue, Nebraska baseball, come on.
That one, disappointing, but dare I say a little understandable if they drop that one.
Yeah, you could foresee that coming based on the weekend they just come off of and being a little
and the first
fatigued.
Inning. The first inning.
Well, yeah, because again, like we talk about, you guys know the fact that you need quality starts from your guys. You need quality starts. Like in a game like this is what a lot of people would consider a bullpen game.
Well, I don't think that was the intention, though.
I don't think it was, but it turned into it pretty quick.
It's really tough to have a bullpen game whenever you just took down the number 5 team in the country. And it was kind of an all hands on deck type weekend for that. And then you got 5 games in 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's
4,
a lot.
5. Yeah. 5 games in 6 days. And you have to have a bullpen game in there where your starter gets chased in the first inning.
Yeah.
And
he goes a third of an inning.
Yeah. And you're going to have performances like that throughout the season. He just could not control. I mean, hit by pitch and 3 walks to open up the game. Like, he just did not have it early. It was Coates, yeah?
Yeah, TJ Coates. He's been hittable all year.
And last night, he just couldn't find the zone. You can speak to it as a pitcher. Sometimes you just have
you just don't have it.
Sometimes you have nights where you step up on the bump and you just don't have it.
I mean, you look at it.
He just didn't have it. Credit to the Huskers for fighting back, but it just reached a point where you get to the 6th, 7th, 8th inning and your bullpen's out of juice.
Yeah, I agree. But it was unfortunate. Again, like you said, I'm with you. There's days you have it. There's days you don't have it. There's days you got to try to fight through it. This was not a night for Coates to do that, and they recognized it pretty early. Won a third of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 walks. Those are the big killers last night. The first couple of guys out of the pen did really well. I thought Worthy was really good. He got fatigued, by the way, because he doesn't go that long. 3 innings, only give up 3 hits and a run.
I mean, great firefighting from Worthley last night to step in and even keep that game manageable.
Yeah, absolutely. Drew Christo, another nice performance out of the pen, 2 2/3 and 2 hits only, but not enough. Not enough as they fall to our foes up north, 9-5. 9-5. They got to do it again tonight. This afternoon. When do they play today?
It's supposed to be tonight.
Tonight
up in Omaha.
Weather will be fine. It'll be windy. But welcome to baseball in Nebraska in April.
Better knock on wood, Hook. See if Nebraska baseball weather in April, saying it's gonna be fine tonight. Knock on wood.
It's fine. We played last night. 14 opened their season last night out at Sandhills.
Nice to hear. The rain held off.
The rain held off the most of the severe stuff. It must have rained overnight because I woke up this morning. And I did similar to what you did last night. We got done about 9:15. Last night we had a 7 o'clock start. Once you get the kid home, we got like 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. Push them to bed. Everybody else in bed. Wife goes to bed at 10:30. I'm not tired. Still wired. Still wired from the game. And it was like, just here and watch TV, not Sports Center, this and that. It was like 12:30 for me too. That's why we're in hot today. Nebraska baseball.
But we're rock and rolling,
man. We're rock and rolling, man. Fatigue though. It was just a game you could see it coming, but you're hoping it wasn't going to happen.
You were getting, if there's a positive takeaway, you were getting guys with proper approaches with 2 strikes and with 2 outs again. They continued that from the weekend. You had some good hitting, good bounce back from the hitters. It was just your bullpen ran out of juice. Like, this wasn't one where you look at the hitters. I know I've said for a long time you got to have 6 runs, 5 pretty dang close. You're never getting there with 9 though. It's just
no.
The bullpen was put into a very, very tough spot last night.
They were.
And they battled for about 6.5 innings.
Yeah, they were right in. I mean, you got some key hits in the game. I mean, Riley Silva had a great day, by the way, 3 for 5. And by the way,
his catch,
number 4 on the top 10 in Sports Center this morning.
Great catch out in center field. I mean, saved 2 runs in that moment.
So they'll try to get back on the winning side of things tonight up in Omaha. That will be never mind. Sorry, my computer blinked out. They will be up in Omaha tonight, 6 o'clock, first pitch. This is one of those that you cannot give up tonight.
Must win or can't lose.
This is where it's at. This is where it's at. This is one like where that win would have helped you last night. It doesn't kill you as much. This is one of those, if you drop a game like this, it just kills you.
RPI wise.
RPI wise, it kills you. So, all right, good stuff. Let's take a first break. When we come back, the pursuit of the crown continues tonight for Nebraska basketball against Georgetown. We'll talk about that and keys of the game when we come back. Oh, kiddo not feeling good. That stinks. Kiddo not feeling good. I watched most of the Husker game too.
I was sitting in here with it pulled up on my phone before our show started. I watched a good chunk of it and was we had folks in our stream yesterday updating us on when it was time to pull the stream. I'm like, oh, Huskers got 2 on, 1 out. Okay, let's pull it up, see what happens. So I followed along for the most part.
Yeah, I pulled the whole thing like yesterday as we were talking about it. Watching it, they were doing well. No, I wasn't watching. Then I was watching. It's like every time I turn it on, something bad happened. Morning, Ryan 840. What's up, Justin? Morning, Todd. Ryan 840. What's up? Good morning, Greg. Oh, look at that. Ryan 840. Happy to report. Big Lincoln Broncos shut out. W last night on the flag football. Had a baby.
See the defense getting after it. They're flying around, making plays.
Yeah. Greg asked, "Do you, if you're out there, will know how X-Man did on the first start." Morning, Troy. Also, I don't know if she's on yet, but it's happy birthday, Sarah. Happy birthday, Sarah. Poor guy got a little man going home today. That stinks. It's going around again. The cold stuff's going around again.
Still allergies for me.
You wonder when does that stop for you guys?
Winter.
Like seriously, winter, is that what it is? It comes back down?
Nah, usually it's we hit like May and I'm all right. It's the tree pollen that gets me more than like some people are big ragweed. I think it's mostly just the tree
There's
pollen.
The tree pollen. Both my kids, you can always tell when it's happening. Baseball season, it is like the worst for them. They're always outside. Terrible. Kleenexes for days around my house.
Yeah. It's I've gone through. I'm not a Kleenex man. I'm cheap. I just go through toilet paper.
Yeah.
Probably gone through way too much.
Costco all the time.
Oh, and I get that.
Buckets of
this time of year specifically, I invest in the slightly nicer, softer toilet paper.
Oh yeah, it's that time. Yeah. Right before it said Swift's kid house call 80 on the first play. I'm assuming he's got jets like his dad. My Ritz girl. Let's see.
We're coming back in about 5 seconds here.
Let's go.
And I'm just about to lose my mind, honey, yeah.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy hump day. Gloomy so far, but it sounds like it's going to be the clouds will part in a little bit. Sun will peek out. Gusty winds again.
Sun with gusty winds will just dry everything off, right?
Yeah. And what am I going to do today? It's Wednesday.
Golf.
We'll play golf.
Hey.
I have to tell you, when you put out your, I know it was the number 2 team versus number 3 team last night in bowling, you make bowling look so enticing with your pictures on X, Twitter.
It is. It's my highlight
You're
of the
like,
week.
ooh. You see the lanes.
Mm-hmm.
You got this nice view of that. Typically, there's a beverage hanging out somewhere around it. It's like, man, bowling looks like a lot of fun.
Well, the gentleman we were playing against last night, they went straight from a golf round. They played a 9 and then came straight to the bowling league. I think the 3rd straight week they've been doing it, and they've been on fire ever since. And they're like, we got to keep this.
So they see that you get on heaters like that.
Well, and something with the golf loosens you up to get out there in the lanes whenever you're bowling. So those guys have been on fire for about 3 weeks. There's 16 total points up for grabs any given night.
Okay.
We came into last night down to the team. We were number 3, down to the number team in second by 16. So we need to have a real nice night to go tie them up. and we did not. I think we took 3 out of the 16.
Did you
points,
stay
so.
in third place? Is fourth place further behind?
I'll get an email sometime this morning with
Oh.
a recap of what happened last night. I wasn't looking further down. You know, we're looking
I
ahead,
know.
not behind.
But you're like, all right, so this is over.
Likely we got jumped last night, if I had to guess. It's the top 2 teams right now are kind of out in front of everybody, and then beyond that, it's very close.
How many weeks?
38.
38. Oh my gosh. Weeks? What?
20 teams in the league.
38 weeks.
20 teams in the league. You play every single team twice. So you have 2 halves of the season. So we start up in late August, and we go through the first or second week of May.
I feel like there's elbow issues coming along.
People deal with golfers' elbows.
I do.
I ain't never heard of bowler's elbow.
No, but I do. I deal with that. I end up in the group I play with, the same guys I'll play with today, like I do. I've been doing it for 20 years now on a Wednesday or a Thursday. They all are like, they're north of 55 with, I'm the youngest guy in the group. That ain't saying much, by the way. But you can tell when the season's getting going, like early season, they all show up with the Brett Favre copper elbow. Yep. Oh, yeah.
The copper
we
fit.
all got them. We all got them in our bags.
I feel like there's even plenty of older gentlemen and older ladies in the bowling league with us, and I've never seen any real elbow issues. I think proper form, keep that elbow in, no chicken wings.
Yeah, I know.
And you can also size up the bowling ball so that it fits you. So I don't think you see many issues with that, actually. It's a good lifetime sport.
It is.
It's a lifetime sport.
I just never got it. We will go occasionally, with family.
It's definitely one of those sports that I think it helped. My dad was a good bowler. He was in the league whenever he was in his mid-20s until the family stuff happened, and he has to raise kids and didn't have as much time.
We all do. I played softball at one point too for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then the family started. Then I started supporting a winner, not playing for a winner.
But it was nice because when I was a kid, but growing up, they had the Kids Bowl free program here in town. They may still have it, where every single day of summer, Monday through Friday, you got 2 free games of bowling. So we used to utilize that growing up a little bit, and I was still not a great bowler. And then post high school hit, my dad's like, "All right, you're joining the league.
You got it."
He's like, "I've been itching for it. You're joining the league."
That's awesome.
You get a lot better quickly whenever you're going and bowling 3 games every single Tuesday night.
That's awesome. Speaking of that, tonight the Crown gets back at it. Nebraska, 18-14, by the way, heading in to take on the Georgetown Hoyas, 13-19, 8:30 tonight. FS1 back at the MGM. Boy, I have a feeling in this because obviously we talked about these secondary tournaments and motivation, and you saw a little lazy type Nebraska team early on. They had to break through that motivational barrier, in my opinion, get that mental block of being in Vegas. I think this team might be right to make that run now. Georgetown coming. I don't know about their situation, honestly, with their health stuff, because there was a lot of guys out or sick or under the weather. To me tonight, this game, what it looks like, obviously they got a dude in that Malik Mack, by the way, who dropped 37 piece. Yeah. Got to watch him. But at what point, I think this is one where, and I always say this a lot, we say this with baseball, Nebraska needs to have a game with a good start. Can you get all, like, a lot of times you talk about teams that come out of the locker room in the second half with slow starts. Nebraska has a tendency to come out opening the gate with that slow start and fighting from behind. I'd like to see them get out to that big time good start. Like, let us go up 8-2 to start a game.
And I think the question tonight that I want to pose to you, and I haven't watched as much Georgetown basketball as some people out there. I'll willingly admit that they were just fine this year. They're fine in the Big East. Do you think it comes down to offense or defense tonight? Because this is a Georgetown team that has and will put up some points. That's what they do. They put up 85 on Washington State. They've been held down by some of the better teams in their schedule. Creighton held them below 70. That seems to be the number. If you hold them below 70, you have a pretty good chance to win. So on one hand, you think maybe it comes down to defense. It should be noted St. John's held them to 41.
Woo!
That was an outlier performance from this year. But for the most part, hold them below 70, you got a really, really good chance to win the basketball game. On the flip side of things, that means you have to put up 70 plus. So what's your take offensively, defensively? Georgetown can get out and run. If you're not safe with the ball, they'll get out and run. But I don't think Georgetown in a while, maybe dating back to the St. John's game, has played a defense that gets after it like this Nebraska basketball team does.
I think it's offense for us tonight.
Okay.
I think our defense has been the most consistent part of who we've been all year long. When they commit like they know how to commit to playing defense and communicating and getting on the switch, all that, that's an elite defense. Okay. You mentioned some things about Georgetown and having trouble scoring sometimes. It's Ed Cooley, right? Isn't that his name? Georgetown coach, Ed Cooley, I believe. I think that's who it is. I think knowing him and seeing him and it's offensively because Georgetown is going to throw a lot of different looks at you. And how do you mastermind the offense around it? I talked to someone yesterday about that because Georgetown is a team that will switch defenses on you more times throughout a game than any other team.
Because a big part of their game plan is they want to flip it up, confuse you, get some steals,
junk defenses, all kind of weird stuff. So I think offensively, it's going to be up to Fred and that team to figure out what they're in. And again, you only got 48 hours to figure this out. Right? You got to game planning that. I think offense is the key tonight.
And I think the key offensively, I'm with you there. It's just valuing your possessions. I think if this is a game where you value your possessions and get good looks at the end of 75% of your possessions, that might be a big ask, but it's doable. You're going to win this basketball game. That's my take.
Yeah, and offensively, Nebraska, what they cannot do against a type of team that will switch defenses or throw some junk at you, you cannot get caught. The ball cannot get stagnant. It's got to move. You got to be able to swing that thing around, get somebody to play the middle. I think our bigs will be big tonight. Okay, like a Berke. Getting to the middle of the defense and be able to be a passer or an attacker from that spot. Now, we're asking a lot because that we have not really seen that. We've seen it a couple times. I think this could be a game where you see a Berke could have a nice night, a stat-filling type night. I think an Andrew Morgan could be a guy like that. I don't think this is a game where it's a and I everybody's gonna laugh when I say it, but this is not a Braxton big guy game in this. I don't see it. I mean, Akel Jacobson's going to probably earn some more minutes after his performance a couple nights ago. But I just see as if we can swing the ball, get it moving around the perimeter, get somebody to establish themselves in the middle that can, get into triple threat and attack the passing game or scoring, it'd be a big night for Nebraska.
I'm actually with you. I was asked last night as I was walking out of bowling by someone else in the league what I thought about this matchup. And I also thought it's a Berke game.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he was used sparingly in the second half the other night. I'm not sure that's a motivating factor or what. He looked all right in the first half. Yep. Definitely looked like the foot was bothering him a little bit less. Ankle. I also, something about it said, you know what, this feels like a stretch 4 game where Berke can get some size advantages in the post and go to work. And when I say Berke game, I'm not saying he's going to go drop 25 points.
No.
But a solid 14-8 type game could be all you need from him. That was my evaluation as well. So it's interesting you say that too. It's a winnable game for this Nebraska basketball team. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Take care of the basketball. Get what you get from Bryce Williams. 1 or 2 other guys step up. You should be able to win this basketball game.
And then again, you're also going up against a younger team as well in Georgetown. They're going to start tonight by the prediction of the lineup. 3 sophomores, 2 freshmen in the lineup. Now, one of them is a 7 foot. 6. I mean, they're short too. 6'8", 6'9". They're shorter than us. But 2 freshmen, 3 sophomore. You're going to come at them with a couple seniors and a junior. I mean, you should be able to attack this team tonight. But I love what you said about valuing the basketball. They've been doing a better job of that. And I anticipate the same thing. I think this Fred's rotation will be thin again. It'll be thin. I don't think we're going to be – I think we experimented with the style last time with a Ulyss in the lineup. You saw how quickly that went. Braxton, quick. In the second half, what did he go to? 5 guys, 6 guys? Question mark.
I think there was 7, but it was just that same 5 for the last 12 minutes.
12 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Also, by the way,
are we going to talk a little portal activity here from Husker basketball?
Why not?
Because there were some.
Well, there was one announcement that I think is a big one.
Well, is it officially announced?
Did he not?
Season?
Yeah, put the video.
Yeah, put the video. Yep.
Connor Season
back.
Gonna run it back again with Nebraska. He was one that I'm telling you, I heard maybe there was some possible noise because he's a guy that could get hot in a deal like this. And I'm sure people are knocking on the door. Kid can shoot in the right spot, in the right type of offense. Come to mind. Kansas came to mind with him. That type of deal where they've always got the one shooter that can knock it down. But I think that's a big piece for Nebraska to get Connor back.
I agree. I'm 100% with you. Defensively, is he going to be a Jawan Gary for you? No. Does he absolutely make up for it on the offensive end? Yeah. I mean, look at how teams were forced to play him at the end of this year in the Big Ten, where I know Nebraska didn't necessarily have the pieces to capitalize, but they had to have a guy face guarding him and getting really physical with him on the perimeter. Really opens up the lane. I think Fred can do a lot with that. We'll see what other pieces he adds. I don't think Connor by himself is going to be, the type of guy, the Bryce Williams impact. I don't think Nebraska's looking for a Bryce Williams in the portal. It should be noted. But
no,
the impact that brings, especially if you get a shooter at your other wing spot, shooter at the 3, shooter at the 2, think about how much that opens up for rink mass in the middle of the floor. Like, there's possibilities there. The other names you're hearing in the portal, Price Sanford.
I'm seeing now predictions.
That might be a done deal. We'll see.
You
don't want to take it away from a kid's like announcement in his moment, but sounding
predictions are happening.
It's sounding like that feels pretty close to being a done deal.
I think that's a big time get.
Yeah. The other one's Jamarcus Lawrence.
He's ready to go. He's ready to open up the door and come home.
And I was personally hearing some smoke around that before he even entered the portal. That like there might be some mutual interest if that were to happen. He enters the portal and it might be a fast moving situation with Jamarcus Lawrence.
I anticipate that one to be quick. And you've seen all the predictions with Sanford and maybe I would expect with the noise that I think both of us are hearing by the end of the week.
And I've talked about it before. I think Robin agreed with it last week. Based on the NIL resources you have, you can go out and take 2 bigger-ish swings, and then you're looking for 3 to 4 deals, guys that might be overlooked by other teams, but you think they're going to fit well into your system that you're not going to have to pay an arm and a leg for. I think Sanford and Jamarcus Lawrence knocks out 1 swing and 1 deal guy.
Absolutely.
I feel like it.
Yep. Lawrence, to me, obviously, it's one of the things you look back and go, man, how he looked now. I think that's a point guard fit in this offense. When you surround a guy like Lawrence, who had to transition to that point, surround him with some dudes that can shoot, and then he can get his buckets occasionally at times. Great fit. Positive news for Nebraska in the portal. Hope it all pans out now. Because I know those guys out there, they're coaches and stuff. They're burning it at both ends and trying to solidify this and keep that team moving. So, but 8:30 tonight, another little late start. I can't wait in a little bit. Here in about, 45 minutes, 50, whatever it is, to talk to Henry T because he's out there. Hope he's awake when we talk to him. Maybe 8:15.
He's an early riser.
That guy's probably been up since 3.
Well,
knowing him.
They're on, as of now, they're on the same time as Phoenix. Yeah?
It's 2 hours, right? 2 hours?
Because Phoenix doesn't have daylight savings time, so they're 1 hour in the winter, 2 hours in the summer, I think.
Yep, so they're 2. Yeah, 2. Right?
So they're 2 hours back. So it's the same schedule, I think. But we'll see. We don't know if you got after it last night.
I can't, confirm or deny. I've not heard from T, so let me tell you that. So, all right, tonight 8:30 FS1. More Husker hoops coming up after in a little bit in the second hour because T was there, kind of get his takes and what the sights and sounds of Vegas as well. So let's take a break. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to talk some NBA because we were coming down to there was some big time games last night. Not only the Joker had a big night, other guys had big nights with performances with teams that are trying to get out of the playoff, trying to stay in the playoffs and not bounce back into the play-in. Let's talk about that a whole lot more when we return. Boy, that was good. Good. Yeah.
And at some point, we also have a whole bunch of audio from the defensive guys that were.
I know. That's going to be, we'll bring that up. Nice to hear those guys talk. We're all focused on offense. We'll do that after T. No, maybe we'll do that at top of the hour. Husker talk, top of the hour. I did not realize also this is the first time I know why I wouldn't realize this, but first time ever playing Georgetown.
Ever?
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that.
Go get this. Might as well. You know what? You're all dressed up. Might as well go win. It's currently a 7.5 point line. Huskers. Can't trust that, by the way. Can't trust those teams. It has a feeling, though, of Georgetown being hit by injuries and illness and all that. It feels like a team that, by the way, just laid it all on the line for one game, and they're due a dud. Because it was an inspiring win based on they were missing dudes. Mac dropped 37. Don't you have that feeling tonight? It's like he might drop, like he'll come back to range, like have 10.
And I feel like Nebraska's got the consistency factor with Bryce Williams.
Yep.
I think that's a guy that you can consistently expect to go drop you 25 points.
I think it's amazing.
Which maybe as Husker fans, you may not have appreciated Bryce Williams enough for the ability to just go out and be a consistent 25.
I was thinking about Bryce the other night. It's amazing. Yeah. But it's amazing that he can just on repeat get to the mid range without, even though they, against him. Well, and the fact that he was all Big Ten. Yes, he played at that level. But think about that. That's a 5-person team, right? 5-man team. In an 18-league conference. He was one of the 5. Yep. I think that went unnoticed. The number of players and talented dudes out there, that Bryce was one of the 5 that got voted on that team.
It's because of the way the season ended, simply put. But I'm with you. I don't think it's a jersey you retire, but it's definitely a guy that Husker fans remember fondly for years and years and years. We're coming back here.
Right.
The night they go more Dixie down. When all the bells are ringing, the night they go more Dixie down.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Boy, talking about some crazy stuff. No, but when I say this, did you see Val Kilmer passed away at 65? Man, rest in peace.
And he's been dealing with some health issues.
Yeah, a lot of, but man, I don't know. Everybody goes back. You just think Top Gun, right? Iceman. Sad stuff.
Tombstone.
Man. I just see him Iceman chomping on his gum.
I think number 1 for me is Top Gun with Val Kilmer. Yep. Heat. He was great in Heat. And then Tombstone. I know Schmitty is a big fan of the movie Tombstone. So.
Yeah. Val Kilmer, man. Yeah, Ryan 840. Yeah, thanks, man. Say good PSA to appreciate Bryce. Been a long time since T. Lou, the last Husker, to average 20.
Yeah. We were talking about this during the break. I don't want to say Bryce Williams has gone unnoticed through his Husker career, but just with the way the season ended, I think what he put together in the 2024-2025 season has gone underappreciated slightly. And I think it's one of those things that you might think back on 3-4 years down the road and be like, man, that was special.
Yeah. I mean, you go back and I mentioned as well as we were talking about it, like he was all Big Ten, first team all Big Ten, 5 guys get on that team. It's an 18-team conference. Incredible. And again, I think that's where it went unnoticed. And when you look at if you want to go in the numbers, like the numbers within the numbers, how many players, how many potentials, and you get Bryce Williams. And typically, I think you get knocked on a season that ended like that. Some voters might go, well, we're not going to do that. Maybe a second team vote for a guy like Bryce based on the team side. But man, that's I'm like you. It's not jersey retired, but I think you'll go look back and go, man, it's a couple pretty special seasons that Bryce had here.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it doesn't end.
Well, I think that's a guy that I think translates really well immediately up to the G League, be a guy that could maybe be one of those swing players that's on the 2-way contracts that plays G League, get some NBA experience whenever guys go down. Like, I think he might slot right into a place like that in his professional career. We'll see.
A little NBA last night, man. I know you heard us talk about the Joker's magical performance, historical performance last night, but there were a lot of other things happening last night. There was a big game, by the way, from a seeding perspective of teams trying to stay out These two teams are trying to stay as far away from that bubble line getting into the play-in. Golden State, Memphis last night. See that game? They flip-flopped between they're the 5 and 6. Last night it was 6. It was reversed. Curry just goes out and drops 52 last night, 12 threes. So they flipped last night. Golden State a half game up in the 5 spot over Memphis. Memphis, the game for Minnesota last night was huge, by the way, because now Minnesota and Memphis are tied. Those two teams are going to be battling who can get into the playoffs, who's got to play in the play-in.
Mm-hmm. And for the Nuggets, the loss was big because now it goes from battling with the Rockets for second, which they're 2 games back. You could still realistically get back into that battle, but as opposed to battling for the Rockets in second, now you're only a half game up on the Lakers for 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a seeding game for the Nuggets where you're going to battle with the Lakers, trying to stay out of that 4 or 5 slot to avoid the 1 seed for as long as possible. So as of now, Thunder are the 1 seed, which that's not going to change. They have a 14.5 game lead on the Rockets. Rockets sitting in second. They look somewhat safe there. We'll see how the end of the season goes for them. Then you got Nuggets, Lakers, Warriors, Grizzlies, T-Wolves, Clippers rounding out the West. I know you got the play-in stuff down with the 9 and the 10.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mavericks, 6.5 games back from the Clippers. I think the Clippers are the better team than the Mavericks, especially given all the issues with the Mavericks. I don't think the Kings or the Mavericks are going to pose much of a threat for the Clippers in the plan. Hope I don't eat my words there, but that's about how it feels. In the East, things are pretty interesting, I think, with the play-in possibilities. The Hawks sitting 8th, the Heat right behind them, 2 games back, and then a half game back from the Heat are the Bulls. Those are likely going to be your play-in games with the Bulls a full 6 games ahead of the Raptors to close the season.
It. It's got on what I'm looking at. It says that
is clinched.
It's clinched.
Okay.
They're set. The Bulls winning last night did that because it's got that E beside them. It means eliminated. Yeah. So they're set. Now it's all seeding stuff, depending on, like you said, that 7 to 10 spot. There's only a 2.5 game separation in that entire thing. With what do we got? 6 more to go.
Yeah, and
6 more.
I could see all 4 of those teams, no matter who's playing in the play-in in the East. I could see all 4 of them getting out of the play-in. So the play-in will be fun in the East. I don't know if it'll be that fun in the West, but Cavs, great season for them. They got a 4-game lead on the Celtics. You feel somewhat safe if you got a 4-game lead at this point in the season. So Vince should say Cavs are probably going to be your 1 seed in the East. Yep. How long's it been? It's been since LeBron.
Oh, God. Yeah, way back.
Celtics, though, are probably the most dangerous team in the East. They're sitting in second place. Pretty wide gap then between the Knicks, Pacers, Pistons, Bucks, Magic. It's a 2-team race in the East, I think, to the NBA Finals.
Yeah. Are you in that camp? I watch all the I like to, I don't know, they call them the talking heads, whatever. But are you in the camp that it's Boston versus everybody else?
I'm not.
Because I hear that I've heard that. It's like Boston, nobody hangs with Boston in the East. Doesn't matter if they're whatever. They're the 2 seed. They're going to win. They're like just throwing it out there.
It's a 2-horse race meet. Cavs and Celtics. And I do give a slight edge to the Celtics, which is the experience they have and the talent they have 1 through 7 on their team. Like, I give the edge to the Celtics. The Cavs are the young upstart. With Donovan Mitchell especially, like, can't bet against that team, and they got a lot of young talent. They've done really well in the draft for the last couple of years. So I'm not going to bet against the Cavs. I do give the slight lean to the Celtics though, but the Cavs are a dangerous team. The West is the wide open conference, I think. I know the Thunder have been great. They're not a playoff battle tested team though, and that's an important factor once postseason rolls around. I mean, to me in the West, it's Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers all have a really good shot at it. The Timberwolves too, like they haven't been as good since they dealt Karl Anthony Towns away, but it's still a dangerous team. And Anthony Edwards can go off for 40 plus at almost any point, it feels like, which can go win you a playoff game. That Western Conference race.
Oh, it's going
to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a really entertaining postseason on the Western side of the bracket.
And I'm going to be honest. I think for me, I'm still trying to be convinced of the Lakers, and I'm a Laker fan. I'm sure trying to be convinced of that team that they're going to have enough to contend throughout the playoffs. You know, like we talk about the Final Four, right? There's championship contenders and then there's Final Four guys. I feel like the Lakers is a team that could get through round 1. I mean, see what happens.
To me, I think the 2 teams that'll benefit most from the way that rotation shrink in the postseason, like you're playing 9 in the regular season and your 9 becomes 6, 7 in the postseason.
You said it. I didn't.
I know. The Nuggets and the Lakers, to me, feel like the 2 teams that are going to benefit most from that. That once you shrink down your rotations, You're going to get more minutes for Luka if you're the Lakers. Like, they've been managing him towards the end of the season pretty clearly. He's had a lingering calf issue, quote unquote. They've been managing him. LeBron always seems to hit another gear once the postseason rolls around in terms of his load management. That'll benefit them. The Nuggets, I mean, Jokic didn't leave the game in the second half or overtime yesterday.
Nope.
He's got that kind of conditioning. They don't like to burn him out during the regular season. He's going to be a guy that's going to benefit from expanded minutes in the postseason along with Jamal Murray. Like, those two teams, I think, could play above what they've been doing in the regular season because there's going to be 3, maybe 4 guys from each team that plays consistently in the regular season that won't even see the floor in the postseason.
Yep. Here's your top 5 odds as of today to win it. OKC sits at the top, coming off the board plus 180. Boston, a little close, plus 210, and then it separates just a little bit. Cavs, Lakers, Nuggets. The Nuggets value.
The teams that we've been talking about here. How about that? Look at us being professionals.
Look at that.
Knowing what we're talking about.
I just looked at that too. I think the Nuggets have great value from the betting perspective. It come off the board at plus 1,500. That's great value. They're kind of tied in that group of it looked legit just based on the spreads and things like that and the futures. You're talking about 7 teams. That's what you're talking about. That I think the Vegas guys and have saying you got a legit chance, and that would include 6 teams. Golden State would be included at plus 1,800. Then it falls all the way to plus 3,000.
I'm surprised the Warriors have that good of odds. Like, I'm not taking that at plus 1,800.
No, that's the one I'm not. I thought there'd be one of those other teams. Maybe, I mean,
hey, Steph Curry is great, but Steph Curry is not the guy that can single-handedly will his team to a final. He can will him to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
that he can do.
But then it's
through the finals to a championship. I don't know.
Don't see it through all the way through. I agree with that.
Ryan 840 chimes in to say here he doesn't buy OKC. It's Celtics or Nuggets in his opinion, but go Lakers. I don't say I don't buy OKC. I think they have unanswered questions with the youth of that roster and how they're going to handle shrinking playoff rotations.
Yep.
That's the big question to me for them.
When the big time bright lights come on, right? Because I mean, obviously right now they've been the best team in the regular season.
And they got
no
Shea.
doubt.
And they got Shea.
Yes.
Shea's that good.
But we all know that defenses tend to turn up come playoff time. Yeah, the Laker fans are definitely worried about interior defense. Yes. And you can't even say it because LeBron's not fatigued. He looked like it the last few weeks, though.
He'll be ready to go once postseason rolls around. That's what I was just getting into. Is like he's a guy that once postseason basketball rolls around, LeBron finds a way to get himself right and to get his body into the place it needs to be.
Concur. So, well, that'll continue. There's 6 games left.
I'll be curious to see how does JJ Redick do in his first postseason as a coach, because postseason basketball turns into a chess game where, hey, you won game 1, the other team's going to be making adjustments. What adjustments do you think they're going to make, and what adjustments can you preemptively make here before that team makes those adjustments? Like, such a chess match that goes on in playoff series. I'll be curious to see how JJ Redick can handle that, but I think in terms of talent, he's got a great shot at going to making an NBA Finals. Luka and LeBron next to each other, yeah, that's great.
Can you imagine that? JJ comes in and just gets him right there, or helps assist.
But I'm OKC, Celtics, Nuggets, Lakers, Cavaliers are my teams that I would give a real shot to.
Love it. So, all right, let's take another break. When we come back, we'll wrap up this fast-moving first hour. What da da?
Ooh, I think I got a good song.
Uh-oh.
Thew did, I played it once before, and Thew didn't like it, but I think he's biased.
I hear people.
It's not roofers.
No, they ain't working. I see a bunch of stuff up on the roof, though.
And they weren't working yesterday either.
Windy.
Yeah, I get it. This is not me talking trash.
No.
Let me get the song in the right spot. Going back.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning hookup. By the way, Hugh Malone says, don't put that on me.
He said he doesn't like Blues Traveler.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a
like
harmonica solo.
Come on now. Come on, Hugh. Hugh, everybody wants to know how X did first start. And then how many tissues you went through as he ran on the field for the first start. Because we know you're a softie.
And how are the umpires? Actually, don't get into that. It wasn't me.
Yeah, can you tell me who they were?
Wasn't me.
Name, blown calls.
And we need to bring the harmonica solo back to modern music. There's not enough
That's good stuff.
Not
It
enough
just got-
harmonica solos
no.
nowadays.
It's got something to it. Love that stuff. You know what's anticipation is building for me right now? The Masters is close.
I hear Schmitty in the afternoon. He's taking his trip out there. He's going to see a practice round. Every time he talks about it, I go, man.
I will tell you this. I've been very blessed. I've been twice. It's a tradition like no other.
Do you see they have a new menu item this year at the concession stand?
Is that real? Because it came out on April
Fool's
1st.
Day. Yeah,
Because
don't know.
I've been there, like,
But it
So-
sounds like it could be like a real.
it's like the
type of
tomato
item.
thing.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. The best part about going, I mean, obviously the golf course is immaculate. Yeah, it's pristine. It's like going to Disney. It doesn't get dirty. Boy, it would be a nightmare for you, by the way. Nightmare. Anybody with allergies, it's a complete disaster nightmare. It's worth it. Because I'm telling you, that time of the year, if it's like as dry as it usually is, I'll tell Schmidt, don't wear white shoes. The tree pollen, you'll have yellow shoes. That's how bad it is. But go into concessions, a pimento cheese sandwich, turkey, ham, roast beef. You could take when I went, you could take like $25, get a good buzz and a couple good sandwiches. That's all it costs you.
Do you have a favorite hole at the Masters? I know we're gonna have a lot more time next week to talk about this.
So I would say, that's tough. I'll have to think about that. I was thinking about it from being there, from the viewership, because I'll tell you this. You never, the worst viewing spot is Amen Corner. You just can't see them because they play 12, then 13's way in the corner and they can't get down there.
Mhm.
So if you're not like one of the first guys there or people there to get up front on 12, the part 3, you're not seeing anything. We got to, oh gosh, I'm thinking the par 3. We got to a great viewing spot. I was on the front. It's the first par 3. So the year we were there, obviously Tiger was still great at that time. And it was our first time. They're like, blah, blah. This was a practice round. Wednesday practice round, because we got to see the par 3 as well, which was really cool. They're like, if you want to see Tiger, you got to go 4 or 5 holes up, get ahead of him. So we got to the first par 3 and literally sitting like here in the ropes, tee box by that wall. Tiger and Stevie walked right by us. But we get there and we're like sitting there, and all of a sudden there's like this hustle and bustle coming in. and it was really 3 big security guards. Look over, cute blonde lady. Like, didn't think anything about it. Elin, ex-wife, Elin, was just there to watch. Shuffled her in. I'm like, yo. But that was the best view I'd ever had. Tiger just walked right by us.
I thought you meant sex.
Yeah, well, that too. That too. But I was like side-eyeing her because those dudes were big. I wasn't messing with that.
Ryan 840 chimes in here to say number 13 is his favorite hole. I'm with you.
I was
Azalea.
thinking
It's the sweeping left par 5 where you got to keep it out of the creek, then you got to hit it over the creek onto the green. Love that one. I also love number 5. They got the back-to-back kind of square fairway bunkers on the left side. It's also right to left dog leg.
Yep.
And maybe not a dog leg, but it sweeps right to left. And you got those 2 bunkers right there, and you got to keep it out of them. And then you got that really tough kind of undulating green.
Yep. I'm a big fan. I would say if I'm picking one today, I'm a big fan of 16. A lot of magic happens on 16.
Yeah, good answer.
I mean, not just the Tiger shot, but there's so much magic that has happened over the years.
There was Oosthuizen's hole-in-one where he bounced off the other ball.
Yeah. And another good thing to do, they do so many cool things. You go to 16 on a practice round when they skip it across the water. Oh, my gosh. That is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. So, all right, let's get out of here. We'll take a break. We'll come back, top of the hour. We're going to talk Husker football, and then Henry T. Buchanan after the break.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic, because wind is a big part of the whole wind-in-your-face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a strong crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Hey, it's Hershey from Nebraska Outdoors and your Nebraska Game and Parks, here to remind you that time spent outdoors is time well spent. Each week we dive into fishing, hunting, wildlife, and the natural history with those that know it best. Join me every Thursday night at 6 p.m. for Nebraska Outdoors on KFOR.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utility's direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. In a few hours, President Trump will let the world in on his tariff plan, unveiling how much he wants other countries to pay for products shipped into the U.S. ABC News Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has more from the White House.
Tariffs on imported products are taxes paid by American businesses. Those costs are then passed along to consumers in the form of higher prices on everything from groceries and electronics to cars and clothes. The president insists his tariffs will ultimately boost the economy and encourage manufacturing in the U.S., but it could take years to ramp up production on American soil. The message from the White House: trust the president.
The Budget Lab at Yale University estimates a 20% universal tariff would cost the average household as much as $4,000 a year. Corruption charges now dropped against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. The Trump Justice Department had urged New York prosecutors to dismiss the case, citing the need for Adams' help with immigration policies. However, because the case was dropped with prejudice, ABC's Aaron Katursky says for the DOJ,
it's a defeat because they no longer have the stick. They only have the carrot. They dismissed the case, but they don't have what they wanted, which was a mayor that was beholden to their immigration priorities.
Susan Crawford, the judge backed by Democrats, winning the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, even though Elon Musk spent $21 million on her opponent's campaign.
In the end, it was not enough. Crawford insisting that this shows that elections cannot be bought. But voters in the state also keenly aware of the consequences here, that this has now shifted the balance on the high court, and that could have big implications for future rulings on abortion rights, congressional redistricting.
ABC senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott in Milwaukee. Myanmar's ruling military declaring a temporary ceasefire in the country's civil war as the death toll from last Friday's earthquake now tops 3,000. You're listening to ABC News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
A manhunt for a suspect ends peacefully. Good morning. I'm Jeff Motes. We're at 54 degrees at KFOR. The Lincoln-Lancaster County Metro Fugitive Task Force arrested a man Tuesday evening that was the subject of a day-long manhunt in the south part of Lincoln. 43-year-old Clinton Molman was first contacted early Tuesday morning in the area 20th and South Street. He had a warrant out for possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited person, but he was found passed out in the driver's seat of a vehicle where officers saw a meth pipe with residue in the center console. Officers told Molman to get out of the vehicle. He refused and then sped off. His vehicle was later found empty on the lawn of a nearby home.
Around 11:30 a.m., the Metro Fugitive Task Force, led by LSO, attempted to locate Molman in the same area.
LPD Lieutenant Jason Goodwin tells KFOR News Molman was located by the Metro Fugitive Task Force and LPD narcotics and gang units at a home near 24th and B and taken into custody around 7:30 Tuesday night. Read more at KFORnow.com. An investigation into assault that may have risen to the level of a hate crime is still being conducted by UNL police. The university reported that a man walked by a group of people early Sunday morning, made derogatory comments about the LGBTQ community, and then assaulted one of those people. So far, UNL police have not found the suspect. He's described as 18 to 22 years old with short brown hair and wearing a black T-shirt, blue jeans, and brown cowboy boots. Voters up in Omaha cast their ballots in that city's primary election Tuesday to see who they want to move ahead in the general election. Unofficial results show that incumbent Gene Stothard and challenger John Ewing with a significant cushion in the city's mayor's race, well on their way to the general election on May 13th. The results of that led to Mike McDonald, a former Omaha state senator, to concede the mayor's race just after 10 o'clock Tuesday night. Lincoln native and photographer Joel Sartori has been named Nebraskan of the Year. He's known for work with National Geographic and the Photo Ark. He earned the honor with a series of images documenting species before they go extinct. So far, Sartori's photographed more than 13,000 animals. Cloudy, breezy today with a good chance of rain and a high of 60. I'm Jeff Motes, KFOR News.
Fly just about anywhere you want to go for free.
Go on a trip, definitely. Palm trees, ocean, definitely.
You can choose your trip with KFOR. A VIP getaway to anywhere in the U.S. The destination is your choice. We've got you covered on airfare, hotel, and VIP experiences.
An adventure-packed vacation.
A VIP trip of your choice can be yours. The winning starts Monday on KFOR.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Hookup, top of the hour. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. You're doing it, man.
Another harmonica solo.
I love this. Probably driving people nuts, but I love every bit of it. Yeah, Ryan 840, good point. Yeah, tournament, it's amazing, the Masters especially, but I mean, there's other ones, but the Masters, that it is generally decided on 12th. Amen, corner, for some reason. Yep, yeah, Molinari getting the drink. Tiger got the 5th coat, 5th jacket. But it's amazing how that transpires there. The winds get to swirling, and it's not like you look at it, and I'm looking like I can hit the shot. I couldn't hit this shot either. Probably with the nerves running and you're leading and going to 12. It's like a 140-yard shot. But it's so, if you don't really realize until you're there, get a chance to get there, how enclosed that area is by the trees.
Yep.
And then to know, like, when the ball gets above a certain flight,
the wind is completely different.
It's different.
It gets above the trees. The wind's completely different than where it is below the trees.
That's why
it's completely different halfway to the pin than it is at the pin.
Yes, that's why I've always said traditionally at the Masters, the ones that win this tournament are the most experienced on the golf course. Have played the most times there. They've just done it for that, Unfortunately, that hasn't happened for Rory McIlroy. This is the one that eludes him. This is the Phil Mickelson U.S. Open illusion.
He's been playing well as of late, though.
Did you see, though, that he's having, he mentioned it in his last tournament, that he's having a little bit of elbow soreness and he's getting treatment before the Masters? Come on, man. I'll never forget when he had that, he was going to win it, and then he blocked that, and you could see him standing in a backyard way left,
But I don't know. Even despite the elbow soreness, he's been playing good golf last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to mean something, right?
I mean, I hope. I am the guy, by the way, before we're going to talk Huskers here in a minute, because Javian Wright, I want to talk about Javian Wright. That dude's a dude.
Did you hear his quote yesterday?
Yeah, that dude's a dude, man.
Talking about how he's willing to sacrifice his life to play the game.
This is incredible to me.
Dog.
But I was going to tell you, so I'm the guy right now because I love pimento cheese. I grew up in North Carolina and Charlotte. I love pimento cheese. I love the Masters more than anything. Have you seen that Taste of the Masters website?
Mm-hmm.
I get it every year.
Do you?
Just the small, the classic kit.
Hot take. I don't like pimento cheese.
It's acquired. It's weird. It's like cottage cheese.
But
I can't do cottage cheese.
But I can do cottage cheese because cottage cheese's flavor is a little more neutral.
I don't know. Something about I don't know. It's a texture thing for me, I think, with cottage cheese. But yeah, I miss pimento cheese. My mom used to get it. It was in my lunch, all that. So I do. We get the classic kit of Taste of the Masters every year.
Aside from pimento cheese, what else does that come with?
Egg salad.
Okay, I love good egg
Come
salad.
on now.
I love a good egg salad. I might have to make my homemade egg salad for the Masters.
Can you bring it in?
I could, yeah.
I have a buddy of mine, big golf guy, Joe Delp, that is a ginormous Masters fan. My buddy Kubi, right, who does a Masters party, Masters Sunday, that he used to drop off. He would drop off me an egg salad or a pimento cheese sandwich in a green baggie.
Oh, feels authentic.
The other stuff I could care less about.
I will say this is the first year they're doing the azalea kit on Taste.
I saw that, but it's like a non-alcoholic. But come on, man.
You just added booze. Well, it's not like that's a hard drink to make, from everything I understand, right? That's just lemonade, grenadine, and vodka, right?
Yeah, I mean, just those. He probably eats olive oil. I hate olives. Chalk that up to the food I hate.
I hate olives.
I can't get down with them.
Green olives I can't get down with. Black olives I'm fine with, but they're not my favorite.
Not even close.
Most of the items that people have olives with, I go, why do you eat olives in here? Right? Except from a martini, maybe. I'm not a green olive guy.
No, I'm not at all. None of them. It's just the smell. That and there's only two things that I really would not do. Mushrooms. Not a mushroom guy.
No, I'm not a mushroom. The texture's all wrong. They're slimy and gross.
All wrong.
I will say, give me pineapple over olives or mushrooms on pizza any day of the week.
All day. If you held me down to it,
Pineapple belongs.
Throw the pineapple on. Regards that other stuff.
If I will say, if you have pineapple on pizza, it's got to have jalapenos too, though.
Yeah. Oh, jalapeno, no doubt.
Yeah, the sweet and the spicy.
Yeah, man. See, you and I are speaking the same. Greg, yeah, I can't wait. We're going to talk a ton of Masters next week. I would love to see Tony Finau get one too. Great individual, great family man, just great dude. And the fact that like that, what was it? How many years ago when he was on the par 3 challenge, he dislocated his ankle.
Oh,
they put it back in place and he walked 72 holes.
Oh.
Beast.
Quickly, have you seen? We have plenty more time to get into this next week. Do you have a feel? Who do you think the odds-on favorite is to win the Masters as of now?
Scotty Scheffler.
Who do you think's number 2?
Roy McIlroy.
Yep. And then third, that's where it gets tough.
I'm going to throw in
Scotty's plus 350 to win it. Rory's plus 650 to win it.
Let's see who's going to get around that golf course real, because you got to remember there's other guys jumping in this thing too. There's the live guys they're going to be there. Who would be third? Xander Schauffele.
Xander Schauffele is in 6th.
Okay.
Odds. He's plus 1,800. Third is John Rahm.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Rahm. I was going through. Mickelson will be there. Rahm will be there. Brooks Koepka always contends. He'll be there.
Brooks Koepka's at plus 2,800. DeChambeau's at plus 2,000.
DeChambeau, if he could figure out how to play the golf course. Seriously.
Yeah.
You cannot overpower Augusta.
In 4th with the odds, Oberg plus 1,600.
Oh, that dude can play, man.
He can play.
Don't know if he has enough experience to play the golf course yet, but it's just over the history, in my opinion.
Longest odds to win the Masters. There's
Tiger
a couple
Woods.
guys tied. No, it's Will Wilson's favorite golfer,
Daniel Cheeseburger.
Fred Couples.
Oh gosh, you threw that at him. Silky smooth right-handed swing, baby. By the way, that guy will make the cut probably. Makes it almost every year. Speaking of dudes, you mentioned the comment, the defensive guys talking. Butler had a lot to say, but Javian Wright, 7-year coming in. The way he talked about this, like it is a unique situation he's in, right? Like he talked about the veteran, like bridging that gap a little bit, still being a young man, right? But bridging the gap there. But you have his quote when he talked about like what he would do to play this game.
And it was he was asked essentially like, what did your injury do in terms of like, did you ever doubt yourself throughout this injury, whether this is what you wanted to do? And he said, no, I came out of this with an increased confidence in like what I want to do with my life, what my path is in life. And great quote.
It's more like a confidence thing. So I was blessed to be able to be the blood clot not to be that severe. So just based on that, I knew that my path is a little different than everyone else's. I would obviously like to go to the next level, but even if my road is a little windier than most, I'm going to make it and I'm going to achieve the goal that I set out to have since I was 6 years old. So if that means risking my life to play the game, I will do that.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there with that. Just his mission, his purpose, right? Like you see his is going to be a windy road. Obviously, we'll medically try to battle through that, what the solutions are with that type of stuff to do it. I'd be a great Dr. Dane Todd question we could talk about on Friday about that. But to stand up there and say that what this means and what the purpose is something special. Those are the type of dudes that you want to go to battle with, that you know are going to try everything in their power to give it every single day, not only make himself better, make you better.
Mm-hmm. And he got into that as well, like how last year changed just his mindset surrounding football as a whole, like how he approaches every single day.
I approach practice a lot differently now. Last year made me appreciate practice more. Now I treat it like a art, like it's a perspective change. So like, you know how people do taekwondo and taijutsu. I think as football as like a art form or a lifestyle. So like you go in, you do you need to work on, and it's a lifestyle. So you kind of immerse yourself into football.
So he just embodies it. Man,
it's like the kind of glue guy that every team needs, where it's like they're just fully immersed in the football.
That's what their life
it's the only thing they
is.
care about. It's what their life is. Like in terms of biggest, fastest, strongest, I mean, Javen Wright's got some.
He's got a chance to be special.
He's got some ability there, and whenever you see that guy working, it's the leader in the room, the glue guy that you follow.
And it's been unfortunate for him with what he's been through, not being able to get all the practice time in. Because I know at times the last couple of years they just kept him out. But it's those types of players, one, that you're rooting for to be special, to get to that. But they're key for teams like this. Portal guys coming in, freshmen coming in. You've got a guy, a staple in your culture that's been around for years now, that's been able to see different size, pull him in, put the arm, all that stuff, and hopefully perform at the high level that we think he can get to.
Well, and the last little bit of that, like the importance that he brings is with all the football, with his path. He got into it yesterday, and this is our last thought we'll hear before we get to the legend Henry T. Buchanan. But the flexibility that he brings defense, that he brings Coach Butler with like the wealth of experience and all the time he's got to soak up football. Like they can use him in plenty of different ways defensively, and he got into that just a little bit.
Since I've been here for a long time, played football for a long time, I'm a little vet. So I know a lot about football. They can plug me in anywhere, jack, field linebacker, boundary linebacker now. They can put me alone in the box. I mean, I've done it multiple times. It's just me getting reps now since I've missed that whole year last year, and me being able to make the mistakes that I have done multiple times is probably essential for me to be getting better in my growth.
Knowledge is power. Experience, wanting to give, wanting to help. The guys you need. They can really bring that defense together. So that's good stuff. We'll have more after tea, but we don't want to wait too long because I know he's probably found some breakfast buffet already out in Vegas. So let's take a break, come back with the legend, Henry T. Buchanan. I'm in a golf text, but we're playing today at 12:30. And one of the guys says, "Good day for 36?" ? Or drinking inside the club. And I just simply said, "Tea time, 12:30. Can't wait."
Hey, when it's breezy, swing easy.
And then my buddy Coos goes, "Here comes the sun." I can sing it. And it's, look at T. He's getting his water. I think he's trying to hydrate. Man, you trying to hydrate?
No.
What are you 2 hours behind out there? Was it like a little after 8?
Yeah, 2 hours, same as Phoenix.
Well, after 8.
Yep, sir. I didn't know I was on. I thought I was still backstage.
Oh no, you can. I think you're back there, but you can hear us probably.
No, he's on stage now.
Oh, you're on stage now for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's going on, fellas?
Living, man. You got a cold too.
No.
You sound like it a little bit. Everybody else in here is fighting colds.
Well, when you go from Arizona to Vegas, the weather doesn't change too much. Actually, it's a little bit chillier than it is in Arizona.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, I just heard you got a 12:30 tea time or something.
Yeah, but I mean, we're playing at 12:30, but it's some of the guys are like, "Should we play?" It's going to be like 50, 58, blowing 20.
Blowing 20 miles an hour.
Look, man, when this is the only time you can get out in the week, you go play.
I hear you.
Go play.
Hear you. No, I'm just actually I'm on a work vacation. I'm working during the day, and we're going to games tonight. So we got a big game tonight against Georgetown. Those guys play hard.
I can't wait to ask you these questions.
Yep, I was up close and personal, and actually Kent Pavelka talked to me post game on the radio and had me give my little observation or summary what I saw, and
look, man, you came on this show, now everybody wants you.
No, I just always speak to Kent.
I know,
Kent's been doing that. Kent's been doing it for 50 years now.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's seen it all, and when I say all, he's seen it all. And then Jake Buheisen, he's there, and he's doing his thing. And
I know Jake was hoping to make it out to the Sphere for the Grateful Dead. They're in residence out in Vegas. I'm not sure if he did or not, but he was.
I'm not sure. I know his wife is with him. So
here's the good news: they got a day. They won a game. They got a day break. You win tonight, I think they get 2 days.
And aren't you in the money if you win tonight?
You're in the money. Win tonight.
I think you're in the money.
Right? No. Top 3. You got to
Okay.
win 2 more to get in the money. I mean, you have a chance to play in the money if you win tonight.
We're coming back here, though.
Okay. That's awesome.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. And you thought you were going to get a day off from Henry T. Buchanan. Not so fast. All the way out in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the legend, Henry T. Buchanan. T, what's good, my friend?
What's up, fellas? What's up, Bill? What's Elijah? Hey, I heard love that T. Samuel's showing some love out here. I think I'm going to gain 15 pounds. Alexa.
You need it. I saw it, Julie. You need it.
Yeah, he has one of his classmates that ran track back when he was playing football in Nebraska, Cliffy and his wife, and man, we're having a great time. And they went to the first game with me, and they'll be going again tonight and cheering them on. It's a good time to be in Vegas.
Tell me, you got a food spot picked out for before the game tonight?
Man, no, food spot is at Coach Samuel's house. I don't went from lasagna to spaghetti to chicken and rice, some peach cobbler, got banana pudding coming today with vanilla ice cream. Oh man, I'm sitting here. I don't even want to leave just for the food.
I'm not going. I was going to put you on the spot.
They asked me, can I cook, and I was like, no. So I'm going to cherish this moment while I can.
But here's a few dollars to buy groceries. Here you go. I was going to put you on the spot, but I'm not. I was going to have you compare the 2 households that you get really good cooking. I think that'll cause some controversy here back home.
No, well, I tell you what, Susan do a phenomenal job. She has my favorite,
shepherd's pie, baby.
Yeah, the shepherd's pie, and then Shu does that. He does that, those breakfast potatoes and bacon, sausage, and eggs for breakfast. So that's traditional. And then I go over to Amy and Johnny's, and I get the roast. And so that's just tradition. I've been doing that for years. So that's always going to be dear to my heart. This just been new. This is some, Coach Samuel's he's from the island, so they got special spices and things that sort, and the flavor it hits you right, and it's just a different flavor. So I'm loving it.
Well, T, let's get to the game of the first game a little bit, because there's so much more to talk about with the second contest tonight. And Nebraska gets a big time win, big time second half. From Connor stepping up at 56 points, you get the win. But talk to me about one, and not the motivation anymore, but slow starting teams. Nebraska right now has been that slow starting team to start games.
Yeah.
What's the mindset behind it? Because I know that teams want to start off quick. What do you see out of Nebraska because all year long we were in holes, whether it be halftime or early in the first half, and just getting the holes. Where does that come from, and how do you change that mentality to not have slow starts?
Well, you just got to have other folks other than Bryce Williams, taking the initiative to get them kick started. It's nice to have. I mean, he's Bryce.
Yeah.
He's a pro, and just watching him up close and personal is special. But when you most offenses to start, you want to get everybody to touch the ball, everybody to get a feel for what's going on, and again, when teams are scouting you and they know your tendencies, and they have a tendency to take some of those away. So you have to adjust on the fly while you're playing. And then sometimes things are not working out. And then I looked at a stat that it's kind of been indicative of our play this year when we didn't play well. Did you realize that Arizona State had 2 steals against us out of our 14 turnovers? You want to gather how many? Now 2 steals, and now on the other end, we ended up with 11 steals to their 16 turnovers. So what does that tell you? We're not taking care of the ball.
I mean, that's not valuing the basketball at all.
Yeah, and it's those unforced turnovers, and where we're lane violations to traveling to just a flat out bad pass and things. And like you said, it's not valuing the basketball at times, and until there's a couple of timeouts and Coach Hoiberg has to have a firm, come to Jesus conversation during timeouts and say, "Come on, wake up, fellas," and then they wake up. And that's kind of been our play throughout the season. I think that's came back to bite us a few times, and then when you're seeing it up and close and personal, and you're seeing it, and that contributes to the slow starts, and then Bryce decides, okay, let us get on the board, let me take over. But he's such an unselfish player that that's just not his character to just take every shot and be the person. Now, I know Gary steps up from time to time, but it was really nice not only to see Connor shoot the ball well. He saw the first go in, and then a shooter like that, you got to see that bucket go. I don't care if it's a free throw or it just happened to get a lucky tip or something. You got to see the ball go in. So it's lucky to see that. But I tell you what, one of the unsung heroes after the first turnovers was that Kel Jacobson. The guy, did you realize he had 5 assists in that game? He played some crucial times. He played like 23 minutes. And a lot of that was due to some foul trouble. And because with Gary and Burke having been in some foul trouble, that that kind of hurt us. And the big men just wasn't giving us what we anticipated. So we had to go small ball. And we're going to go small ball tonight against Georgetown as well, because they're not a really big team. They got a couple 6'8"ers or what have you, but they're very, very athletic and they run the floor. But to your question, we gotta take care of the ball, and if you look back in some of those slow starts, it's like we're giving the ball away, and with this experienced team, but it's the experienced team with new players playing with each other. You don't know each other. You're still trying to get each other. So there's a lot that goes into that. But it goes back to Coach Hoiberg, what he said in postseason. The post game conversation, or was it this? No, it was last night. They had an interview with him, and he just talked about they didn't finish the way they wanted to, and of course, we all anticipated a bid, and which they should have gotten a bid, and we were anticipating their first win, but when the ball doesn't bounce your way and you don't take care of the ball, that's what happens. But I was still pleased with the game the other night, and Arizona State was feisty, and they played well. And luckily we got the big guy. That's what I said on the radio with Kent Pavelka. I said, I'm lucky that big guy found out, man, because he was – and if you saw him at the game, the guy was super long, tall. He was just massive. He wasn't as big as Braxton, but golly, his arms, he had 8-foot long arms. It seemed like, and he was snatching rebounds. It was tough to shoot over him. So, that helped us out tremendously. But a win is a win, and we'll take it, and we move on to the next.
You talked about Nebraska's ability to potentially go small tonight. It's a smaller Georgetown lineup. They're hounding, though. They like to get out and run. Do you see Nebraska going small to counter? Do you see Nebraska going a little Big Ten bully ball and keeping Braxton Mee out there? It was the smaller guys, the effort you saw from Gary and Bryce Williams, and those guys that finished the game with Cale Jacobson, with the Siege, and with Hoiberg. Those guys were hustling around, playing small. Do you think there's value in going big against a smaller lineup, or do you think Nebraska sticks with that lineup that closed the game so strong the other night?
Well, it's based on how those big guys play. Mm-hmm. If Morgan and Braxton are playing well, and then they'll play longer. But if they're not giving us what we need and snagging those defensive rebounds and keeping the ball alive, we may have to go small ball. And I like that small. We played well with that small ball, in my personal opinion. And I didn't see that really all year, at least for extended periods of time. But that shows the versatility that we had that we didn't even realize. We should have tried that sometime during the season a little bit more. But I like to see Braxton Morgan step up tonight, because they could be dominant if we can create that or start that inside game. And it's going to make the shots come a lot easier for Bryce and Connor.
T, I want to ask you about this. So I got Georgetown coming up, very unique team with their situation too. We got Malik Mack. He dropped a bunch, 37 the other night.
I saw that.
Dropped in. Again, they had some illness. They got some injuries, all that stuff. Whatever, you're in postseason play. I want to ask you about this because tonight we're talking offense, defense. What's going to be the most important? And I asked that question. Elijah asked me that question earlier. So I'm still in this question to go to you, because if you look at Georgetown, they try to junk this thing up. They're going to have junk defenses. They switch defenses more than anybody in the country to try to confuse you. One question is, how do you overcome that on the offensive side? Because we got a genius, I think, sitting on the sideline. 2, what's the hardest defense you ever had to play against when you were playing here?
I've been that full court press defense that OU used to put on us with Mookie Blaylock. No, it was Harvey Grant.
Harvey Grant.
Harvey Grant. He would be all over the out of bounds.
Big, long.
Yes, and then when you throw it out to that corner, then here he comes with Mookie, and it was almost impossible to throw around him. So it was that full court pressure that pressed us all, from the start to the finish, and how athletic they were, and that's, but we were prepared for it, and I don't know. And like I said, I don't see it enough from that perspective, because in watching today's practices, and I think Coach Hoiberg said it best, the only thing he knows is NBA offenses and defenses, and that's what he coached. And of course, there's a lot of, and that's probably why we don't play a lot of zone, because you don't see a lot of zone in the NBA. But what he did, with that 5-man out, I think we have the offense to counter that. But if they're putting that full court press on us, there's where I get a little nervous. And if they're putting that type of pressure, and that's the kind of pressure that kind of, which Oklahoma was the only team that would full court press us, and we hated it. But I think we'd be all right. But what's gonna bother me the most is this: if we don't take care of the ball. I mean, it's 14 turnovers with only 2 steals from the opponent. That means, man, we're throwing that ball all over the place, and Georgetown is going to take full advantage of that. So I'm a little worried about that. But I think we're good. Regardless of those gimmicks, because the offense that Coach Hoiberg runs, it really counters any defense you bring out, whether it's zone, different mans and mans, traps, or what have you. And we've seen it all throughout the year. Go ahead.
I say, against defenses like that, what do you think you need from Bryce Williams?
To be aggressive.
Okay.
Don't be passive. I think really he's going to have to step up early, and he's going to have to, we're going to have to hit first, and not sit back and wait to this team see what they're doing. We already know what they're going to do. The coaching staff know what they're going to do. Bryce needs to step up early and often. And hopefully when Connor comes in, and if he's feeling it like he did a couple nights ago, it's going to be a long night for Georgetown. But we're going to have to defend. That kid hit, 8 for 12? 8 for 12 from the 3-point line. So we're going to have to guard. And we got the guys. I mean, what is he, 6'3", maybe 4? I know he's kind of a big guard. I'm not sure, but, I know most likely Sam is going to get that assignment. But if he's a little bit bigger than Sam, where Sam can't affect his shot, we probably have to go with Gary. 6'3". So we're going to, and with Sam being 6'6'1" and athletic, I think Sam would be all right. Sam's going to hound him, going to make him work. So, if y'all been watching this kid for the last 2 or 3 years, he takes pride in that on-ball defense, and he's going to create havoc for this kid. So I'm not going to worry about him as much as them getting out running and causing turnovers. And it's not really them causing us not taking care of the ball. When we take care of the ball, we have to get under 10 turnovers. We get under 10 turnovers because actually we won the turnover battle with Arizona State. We had 14, they had 16. If we win the turnover battle, we win the game. So it's going to be important we take care of the ball and we play and we have an aggressive Bryce, and we need to get Connor. If he shoots the ball the way he did a couple of nights ago, I think we'd be all right. But y'all might be on to something with the big man if they can make some noise, because they're not going to have anybody can really guard Morgan.
Nope. We both said I feel like it's this on the offensive side tonight.
Could be a Burkay game.
Could be a Burkay game, especially. And T, you can speak to this. If they're switching up on the defenses, somehow having a guy. I mean, this is the going back a year or so. Mast was the guy that could get to the center of the court and go, and I could do anything now. Yep. That's how the offense was so good with Mast, because he could turn around and shoot it. He had vision. He could pass it. That's why I feel like this could be like Barricade could. I think could be his go-to tonight. Find the center of the court and be a distributor or a shooter.
I haven't said much about Burkay, but I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I see so much talent and skill from that kid, and watching him and just, the rebound and his basketball IQ. He knows how to go get the ball. He knows how to position himself defensively. Offensively, I just think he needs to slow down. He gets in a hurry, and he's playing against guys, especially tonight, that are athletic and fast. Mm-hmm. So you got to take care of the ball, and he struggles against those type of players that are quick, and he doesn't know where they're coming from. But he handles the ball well. He's similar to Mask, to be honest. I mean, the same type of game, except for he's a lefty. But Mask took care of the ball a little bit more. He takes care of the ball a little bit better, and more of a consistent 3-point shooter. Although, Burkay, he has the shot. He can shoot it. The kid can shoot it. I'm just, but if y'all remember, right before that ankle injury,
this is best besides Oscar.
Yes, and that's the Burkay that we expected from start to finish, and that's and hopefully we see that tonight. And but we're going to need everybody to step up, because, and I don't want to go ahead of Georgetown, because that Boise State is not going to be no joke in the semifinals. So this is going to be a dogfight, and unfortunately, after we win tonight, I have to run back to Arizona. I got one of my teammates, and speaking of Oklahoma, he played with Derek Vick and I at Hutchinson JUCO. Tyrone Jones is coming in town. That was been planned for a while for this weekend, and he played for OU. Was in that national championship game, a DC guy, and so he was a Mookie Blaylock, Stacey Keene, Harvey Grant teammate. So now that we're talking about it, now I'm going to be looking at him crazy when he gets here. I was just talking about your team. Yep. Because we wanted him to come to Nebraska. He even took a visit, and we thought we had him. And, of course, he chose Billy Tubbs and OU, and I really can't blame him. However, he has said time and time again he wished he would have came play with us, because he really didn't play there as much as he thought. He didn't get his starting position. Like, he would have started for us, and he was a shooter. So, anyway, but no, I'm excited about the night. I think it's going to be an exciting game, and I think we have the team to counter whatever Georgetown's going to throw at us, but we need to take care of that ball, and that's going to be huge tonight. And we need that aggressive Bryce, and not the passive, and he's unselfish to a fault, in my opinion. And so we need our superstar tonight to step up, and we're also going to need the rest of them. We're going to need Connor. We're going to need each and every player. Mm-hmm. But most important, we need to take care of that ball.
Tender TV Cannon with us here at the Morning Hookup. The legend joining us on a Wednesday, as he always does. And T, before we get you out of here, I want to get away from the Crown Tournament just a little bit, talk some portal recruiting. Yeah. There's been rumors out this week, maybe a reunion, Jamarcus Lawrence in Nebraska basketball. It's been the rumor. I want to get your thoughts on that and how well you think that would work out to see an old friend.
Oh, I love it. And when I heard about it, Hey, I love the idea because if you remember, Bill and Elijah, you were around. Uh, he was coming into his own.
Yep.
That last year he was here. He was adjusting. He was running point, and remember, he was shooting lights out. He's quick, athletic. He can. I mean, he does it all, and he knows the system. He's going to come in. If he comes back, it's not going to be any adjustments that would be to need to be made. He's nothing. He knows the system. I think it's a match made in heaven. We need him back, and I would love to see him come back. And I don't know how that works because the transfer portal is crazy. I talked to Ray McCollum. He's a all-time leading scorer at Ball State. He played with Shu in high school. He's a year behind us, and he won state after Shu and them left for Muncie Central. And he's coached all over. He's coached Ball State, Detroit Mercy, assistant at Wisconsin, but he's assistant at Tulane. And Tulane's head coach actually coached my son at IUPUI, Ron Hunter.
Right.
So I called and talked to him last night, and I was like, "Hey man, I'll come and see you tonight and see your team." And he said, Henry T, don't waste your time, man. Their two top players are in the portal.
Oh, yep.
You know, it's crazy. I mean, these kids are leaving. I mean, every team. You see Scottie Pippen's other son left Michigan before during the tournament, didn't play. And it's impacting. And Daddy Manning, I didn't realize this, and I wish I went to the game. He's on Colorado staff.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I didn't either. Coach Samuel, we were sitting here watching the game last night. He says, that Danny Manning on the bench? And I looked it up, and I'd be doggone. I would have went down there and said something to him. I have about 5 numbers of his, but, you know, he's like Ty Lue. They get numbers, and they last 30 days, and they get a new number. I'm like, bruh, I quit trying to catch him, man. I'm not going to run you down, man. I got all these numbers in my contacts, and none of them work, you know, for him and Danny Manning. So I'm like, if I see you, I see you. But I would love to see him. I would love to see him last night if I'd have known. But they, of course, lost, so he won't be there.
Yep.
Probably rest of the weekend. But it was nice to see that. But though the transfer portal is impacting, we're just lucky that, you know, it goes to show you Nebraska is the place to be. And Coach Hoiberg, and he said it best in that postseason, that he prepares you for the NBA. Yep. He runs the NBA offense. He runs the NBA defense. And what he's teaching them how to shoot, how to play. And that's why Bryce is going to transition, I do believe, into the next level. And you never know with the rest, you know, with Gary. But no, we got a chance to win this tournament. If we get by Georgetown tonight, and that Boise is going to be tossed up. Unfortunately, I'll be in Arizona watching it, and I look for it. And at the other side, USC, Cincinnati.
Good teams.
It's a really good teams. There's a lot better teams than I anticipated. And so I'm looking forward to it. And we had and the Cornhusker fans, man, pat yourself in the back, man. We represented the other night, and I'm sure it's going to be more at the game tonight. And we got to tell Johnny. Johnny's a Georgetown fan.
Oh, we're getting after Johnny tonight.
Yeah. But he's Cornhusker first, but Georgetown is his team. So he texted me last night, said, dang, they're playing against one of my favorite teams. I'm like, well, I know who you're rooting for. I don't care who your favorite team.
A few comments, by the way. You hit it right on the head. Ryan 840 said Mookie Blaylock was the fastest player I remember as a kid. By the way, Joe P in the house.
Oh, what he said?
Was the greatest defensive guard ever to play college. He was a thief.
Yes, he was.
And then Ryan 840 caught it, and I caught it too. You already got us in the next round because you did say after we win tonight.
Yes. I still feel we have the team to beat Georgetown, but they have a phenomenal coach. I think that coach was at Providence before Georgetown.
I think it's Ed Cooley, right? Isn't that Cooley?
Yeah.
I just remember him falling off the chair.
Yeah. A quick note here with tonight, doing some research here. There's only been 5 Nebraska basketball teams in history to win 2 postseason games or more. Nebraska could join that list, make it 6 tonight. It's the first time Nebraska basketball has ever played in April tonight. There's a fun fact of the day. The only other teams to win 2 postseason games, 04 and 97. 83 won 3 games in the NIT. 87 won 4 games in the NIT. And the 96 won 5 games.
We can throw those hands up.
87, baby.
Yeah. So Nebraska basketball, the 2024-2025 team could join some elite company among Nebraska basketball teams. I know it's not the NCAA tournament, but there's not many Husker basketball teams to win multiple games in the postseason.
Are we or are we not the only Big Ten playing right now? Oh, well, two of us and USC.
Yep.
Well, USC is barely Big Ten yet.
We don't like them.
They got to earn their stripes.
Yeah, but it don't count. This is their first year, so they're still in a honeymoon stage. Them, the UCLA, Washington, and Oregon.
Awesome. Well, T-Man, great stuff, my man. Enjoy your time out there, Terabye High, and then we'll be watching tonight, 8:30, be 6:30 your time, FS1. T, be good, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, we'll be right behind the bench, man. So, hey, we'll be screaming loud as we can. Well, I'm not a screamer, but I'll be focused and watching. So I'm looking forward to it, and we got a good opportunity.
Well, I hope sometime you get in a huddle or get back in a halftime and give us another speech, because I heard that you were maybe the one that gave the speech for the second half last week.
We did go talk to Kent Bavacchia at halftime and after the game, and I love that guy. So
you should go punch a whiteboard.
Yeah, just go punch a whiteboard, because Coach can't get cut.
Oh, hey, but man, that's that. Well, I saw him that game, how upset he was, and then last night, I don't know if y'all saw, they showed it on TV, but some of the Arizona State players kind of, when they're, handshake line, try to go at it with Bryce. And, and of course, Bryce reacted. And then Gary, that's our enforcer.
Oh.
He jumped in. So everybody started jumping in. And Bryce, for a few minutes, wasn't wasn't going to back down. And Coach Hoiberg grabbed him and walked him through the locker room. And he was in his ear, and I can read his lips, like, it's like, you don't do this. And then, dude, you a pro, man. You can't react to the idiot. They're a poor loser. They were upset and things of that sort. But it got a little heated there for a second. But they probably took it away since it was on TV. Probably was on the commercial, but during the handshake. But it got a little testy there, just put it that way. But I was proud of the boys, and not to say, because I probably would have reacted like Bryce, like, you're not just going to punk me. And then I saw Gary coming like, oh, y'all don't want none of this. Gary's like Jimmy Butler, you don't want none of this. So anyway, I just want to throw that out. But guys, thanks for having me, man, and go Big Red. Let's see if we can take care of business tonight.
Awesome, T. Always a pleasure, my man. Be good. Stay blessed. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Henry T. Buchanan, the Husker legend right there, live out in Vegas tonight, 8:30 FS1, locally in Nebraska, Georgetown. Let's take another break. We'll come back, do a little baseball and some stories that we missed. Yeah, buddy.
Okay, now is there any more good harmonica songs?
Uh-oh. I know you'll dazzle us. Your home is on the way. Come on, son.
Okay, I'm
Uh-oh.
running out of songs here.
You're not feeling it, are you?
No, I'm not feeling anything just yet. We're gonna have, by the way, 3 minutes and 30 or 45 seconds on the clock. Quick little segment here to finish her out.
No, that ain't gonna work. I was gonna look for a song, but those are bad.
Oh, well, let's just go through. Let's go through old Willie's music folder here and see what he's got.
Good luck. That's a different animal in there. That's what we'll do.
I don't have time. I thought of a song, but I don't have time to pull it. So we are gonna go something from Will's folder here.
I like it. Let's rock.
We're back in 30 seconds.
30. Greg said, just throw some Rush on.
Little Neil Peart. Drums, love that.
Joe P, yeah, that whole contract. That's so interesting how they control NIL.
Coming back here.
I said a hip, the hip, the hip, to the hip, hip hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang, boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie beat. Now what you
Welcome back to the morning hookup. Special thanks here to the Husker legend.
I don't know what this
I have
is.
no idea. That was in his.
I know this is the Sugar Hill Gang.
That was in his folder.
I don't know what this version is. Yeah, I don't know. This is from our old friend Will's folder. It was a good music day up until that point.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's you try things and then you just eliminate them. You don't make the same mistake twice.
Never playing that
Delete.
one again.
A little baseball real quick. Boy, the Dodgers are off to a historical start. The grand scheme is 7-0. That is the best match in the 1933 Yankees' best start by a World Series champ. They go tonight to try to break that against the Braves, and who, by the way, have historically 0-6, first time since 1990. The Braves have done that, and the Dodgers, they just get Mookie Betts back, who just hits a home run last night. No big deal. Hits a home run. They win 3-1. They're the only. The Braves now are the only winless team in the bigs right now.
Do we think we could see a historically good Dodgers team this year?
Yep.
I don't want to overact based on the start.
Yep. They're not gonna. They're good. That's just it. I mean, I don't know if there's not a better pitching staff, right, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Was it Dusty May last night?
I'm not sure there's a better lineup top to
I
bottom
don't think
either.
there is.
I mean, are we talking?
What's the
115?
What's
wins
the
here?
win? What's the win?
The highest
record
winning percentage in MLB history is the 1906 Cubs, who had a 763 winning percentage, going 116-36, which not as many games, right? 36.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, they were still 10 games short. So I think you'd have to get around the 124 win mark, I think, to break the winning percentage.
They're going to break it. It's the Braves again, looking for their first one. I don't want to. It's getting to that point. They're still missing the Braves. I think they're going to be okay. They're still missing Strider, Acuna Jr., Sean Murphy behind the plate, a couple relievers, and then obviously the Profar, the top free agent, by the way, just got busted for 80 games. Yuck.
Yeah. I will say 116 wins. The percentage goes to the Cubs, but 116 wins is the benchmark overall. The Mariners also did that in 01. More losses because there's more games in the season than 01. But Yankees had 114 in 98.
Whoa.
In 2022, the Dodgers had 111. That's the closest we have gotten since the 01 Mariners.
Wow. The Dodgers, they're just too good. They really are.
I could see them pushing that 116 win total this year. I could see it.
I could absolutely see it.
They've had the start you needed. They've had the start you needed.
I'm scared. Hey, by the way, we're approaching greatness, and it's in hockey. Ovechkin.
Yep.
We are 3 away, and based on the games and the number of all the stats, he could possibly be breaking the final regular season game.
I know. I think they're playing national television tomorrow night as they're covering that chase.
And his guest list just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, will Wayne Gretzky still be the great one?
Yeah.
All the time, right? Somebody asked me that question. All right, man. You guys have a great hump day. Thanks for hanging out with Elijah and I. We will catch you on a Thursday.